Good morning, girls. Welcome to the subject of Productions and Operations Management. Here we have already started, as you all know, with unit number 3, that is facility layout, and have dealt with so many different aspects of facility layout, right? In the previous sections, we have already done with the contents, as you can see it on the slide here. 1 to 10 contents we are done with. As far as the rest of the content is concerned, yes, we are done with 11th and 12th one. We are dealing with the types of layout. From examination point of view, this section is very, very important, and we all must take care of this section very briefly and in a particular manner also. So if we are dealing with types of layout, we have to see that there are different types of layout, which I have already discussed with you in the previous lecture, and we have already started with one of the layout also, if you remember, that is product layout, right? We'll be dealing with the rest of the layouts today, but before that I'll just brief the content of the chapter or content of what we are doing right now, right? Thus, plant layout is what? It is an appropriate arrangement of the machineries, equipments and other industrial facilities which we require for production. The main purpose of plant layout is what? To achieve the fastest and the smoothest production at the minimum cost. That means we want the fastest one, we want the smoothest one, and if we want the cost effective kind of manufacturing, then in that case we need to have the plant arrangement done. That means the machineries and the equipment should be placed in a proper manner. We have already discussed with the principles, maybe the problems of the layout we have discussed, and we have also seen that what are the good marks of good layout, right? We have also introduced, as I told you, to the types. There are 5 different types that we'll be studying. Out of that, we have discussed in the previous session, we have discussed with the product layout, right? We will just check out the things here in brief, and then we shall go further. By now, we know that the layout is nothing but the arrangement or arranging, placing or grouping of the machines for the purpose of production. There cannot be any single type of setup used for all the types of production of the material or maybe the goods. That means a single type of a machine or a kind of say designing cannot be used for all the types of product. Then in that case we need to have different styles or pattern or grouping of the machines for different products, and that is why at that time these types of layout can be used by the manufacturer depending upon his own requirement. As I told you, there cannot be a stereotype of setup that okay, if this setup is there for engineering product, it will be same for the chemical product also, and it will be same for some edible product also. No, some single type of say setup cannot be used for all the types of material and or all the type of production, and that is why we need to have the different options available to us, and that is what is the types of layout, right? That means the designing and the styling differs from product to product, and it highly depends upon the requirement of the manufacturer and goods itself. In this section we will study few basic types that are generally used for production. Say like as you can see it, there are 5 types which we are going to study. Product layout, straight line layout we have already done with. Process layout we will be doing in this session, and then we move to the static layout, cellular layout, combined layout, and likewise. So, let us revise the product layout. Product layout refers to a production system where the workstations and equipments are arranged in a particular sequence in which the raw material falls for the production and will be operated upon. That means product layout is also known as line layout or maybe straight line layout. Here the product falls from one machine to the another one in a particular sequence, so that at the end of the sequence we may have the whole production or whole product ready. And that is why it is here the product that is very crucial, very important. The product falls from one machine to the another one in a proper sequence. Hence it is also known as line layout. Here the workstation is done or work is done in a small part or amount at each workstation which falls in the straight line. That means the workstation in the work is taken up in small parts at each workstation. Here workstation is nothing but the type of machines, right? In one machine, if the small work is done, it passes on to the next one and to the next one in the single straight line, and that is why it is known as the whole work is known as the workstation, or maybe it is known as the machines, right? Here again I repeat, the product is very important. To use the product layout, the total work to be performed has to be divided into the small tasks. That means at one single machine the whole work is not being taken up. Instead, what is being done, whatever the type of machines we may be using, the small tasks, it is divided into small tasks and it is assigned to all the types of machines. Say 5 workstations or 5 machines we may be using, then the product passes from one machine to the another one, and likewise it is divided into a small task or maybe work. The workstations do small work, that means small amount of work, for which the station utilizes the specific techniques or equipments modified to the individual jobs they are assigned. That means the workstation which performs the small amount of work, right? A special technique may be used, a specific equipment may be used, everything is getting modified at that stage and then it passes to the next stage. This helps to have the higher rate of production at the end. That means when we want to have the production that is to be done at a very high speed, or maybe in the mass scale production when we want, then at that time the product layout is the best option. That means when you want to take it, when you can divide the work in small tasks, you can select product layout. When we want to have it in bulk, we can select product layout, and moreover standardized goods are produced. So at that time we can have the product layout as the best option. Now, today what we are going to study is about the process layout. The name itself tells you everything. When in product layout, product was important, here the process is important. Process layout are found primarily in job shops or firms that produce customized or low volume products that may require different processing requirements and maybe the sequence of operations. That means when you want to have customized goods, when you want to have the low volume goods being produced, then at that time process layout is the best option for us. Moreover, process layout are in which operations of similar nature or functions are grouped together. This is very, very important. In process layout, all the machines performing the similar jobs are grouped together. That means all the machines, say 5 machines doing the same type of work, they are placed together, and that is why it is also known as functional layouts. Their purpose is to process goods or provide services that involve a high variety of processing requirement. Now, when we can use this process layout, when you are producing some customized goods, when you think that a proper services is proper service or maybe proper kind of work is required at a single place, then at that time we group together the requirements, we group together the machine, and then we perform. So here the function is important, the process is important, and the product is not given the priority. A manufacturing example would be of a machine shop. A machine shop generally has, say, separate departments, say like milling, grinding, drilling, hydraulic presses, or maybe lathes. Now these examples that shows that milling machine may be placed together in a group, right, in a single department. Grinding may have a different department, drilling may be done at a different department, and likewise. That means according to the functions, the division of the machines is being done, the area is being divided, or arrangement is made in such a manner. Therefore, facilities that are arranged according to individual functions or processes. That means the facilities are so placed that individual function is only performed at single place, and multiple machines doing the same work are used, but multiple machines performing different works are not placed together, as we have seen in product layout. It provides the firm the flexibility needed to handle a variety of routes and processes requirement. That means you have full flexibility. The firm has flexibility depending upon the orders, depending upon the varieties, depending upon the routes you want to change. All things is possible here with high flexibility in the process layout. We can even quote the examples of say, as far as service sector is concerned, say hospitals, banks, auto repairs, libraries and universities, etc. See, if I give you the simplest example of library, then in library if you enter, multiple books are there, so many books are available, but all the books are placed in such a manner that serves a different purpose. Say if you are moving, or if you are finding any science book, if you go to the science department, then you get all the books related to science. Likewise, if you move to the literature department, in that too, if you want a particular language, then you may have English language books, you may have the literature books of Gujarati, Hindi, and likewise. That means the functions, the purpose that they serve, accordingly they are being arranged, and that arrangement is known as process layout. Here we have quoted the example. If you can see, there is a painting department. If you see the bars on the slide here, you can see there is a painting department, assembly department, machine shop, receiving department is there, testing department is there, even the shipping department is there. What is important and what is to be noted here is, you can see everything is in a departmental form. That means the painting work is carried out in a single department, the assembly may be taken up, then in the sequence, then comes up the machine shop or receiving department. Means all the arrangement are or performing the same type of functions are so placed together, and that is why it is known as process layout, and more or less all the machines are grouped together depending upon the functions they perform. We can see from the above example thus that same type of function is performed in the single department. Like if painting is to be done, then 2 to 5 machines or spray may be there performing the functions of painting in a single area. Likewise, there may be assembly area or receiving department or shipping area performing the same functions. That means it justifies the functional process. That again means that all the functions or a particular function performed by multiple machines are placed together. So we can say that in this type, all the machines performing similar types and operations are grouped together. See, grouped together is very important term that we can remember. It's a kind of lead, or it's a kind of clue that makes the whole process very clear to you. Here, machines may be shared by several products. Naturally, several products may be coming to the same machine, so that we are making the maximum use of the machines that we have installed. The machines groups generally arranged in the sequential form. Naturally, one by one, the things passes on from one group to the another one, and likewise. Here, the process is more important than the product, and the machines are general purpose machines. Again, this layout is best suitable for intermittent production system or job. That means the layout is best when you are doing a job shop or when you are doing a customized production. Then at that time, or the production which requires a kind of interval in between, these may be the best selection, or these may be the best kind of setup. Here we are going to check out with few of the advantages of process layouts. Like it is flexibility. Number one, it is a very flexible type of setup, because the firm has the ability to handle a variety of processing requirements. That means if 5 machines for painting is there, but we are not going to use all the 5 machines together, we may use only 3 machines together, and it may provide the flexibility of not using the rest of them. That is why it is very flexible as compared to product layout, because product layout, once the raw material falls from one end, it keeps on falling to the sequence, and at the end what we have is the finished product. There are hardly any chances of flexibility. Next is cost. Right? Sometimes the general purpose machines utilized may be less costly to purchase and less costly and easier to maintain than the specialized equipments. That makes it more cost effective. That means whatever the machines we are using, they are all general purpose machine, and that is why as compared to specialized machine, they are comparatively less costly, and that makes the whole affair a little cost effective. Next is, it is the motivation, how it gets you motivated. That means employees in this type of layout will probably be able to perform a variety of tasks on multiple machines. That means if multiple machines are there, the employees get a chance to perform on all the types of machine, and this helps to break the monotony, or it helps to break the series of work being performed in the same pattern, right? Which is not possible in the product layout, because the repetitive and assembly kind of work is done in product layout. So you hardly get any chance of change as far as employees and their work is concerned. But here we get the opportunity, or the employees get the little freedom to work on multiple products or multiple machines, and that helps to motivate them. Again, the system protection is there. Since there are multiple machines available, process layout are not particularly prone to system failure. Yes, this is very important. As I told you, if 5 spray machines are there and if one of them is not working, that means the work will not get stopped or the process will not get stopped. We can always shift to the similar kind of machine performing the similar function. So system failure is not there. On the contrary, in the product layout, that may be possible. Again, specialization in supervision is possible. That means if a supervision of a particular thing is to be done, or particular area or particular function is to be done, that can be done very easily. Duplication of machines can be avoided. Why? Because if same function is to be performed by multiple product, you can always bring those product to this area and you can perform on it. That means facilitating the most favorable use of installed capacity. Means whatever the installed machines are, we can make them use for 100%, and that makes it very say cost effective also, and installed capacity can be used to its max. Again, a process layout also allows the employer to use some type of individual incentive schemes. That means if individual function is performed very well by the people working on them, or maybe the workers who are working on a particular group, say 5 machines and 5 people are working, they are working at their best, then the incentives can be provided on that particular basis, and you can motivate the workers also. That means in so many ways the process layout is very, very important also, and very, very advantageous also. But as the coin has two sides, so do the process layout has its own gray side also, and that is what makes it disadvantages, or we can call it the limitations, right? We will check out with few of the limitations here. Say like utilization. Equipment's utilization rates in process layout are frequently very low, as the usage of machine is highly dependent upon the variety of output requirements. See, at times the use of all the machines in the single group is not possible. Say if you have a small order, then what happens is the use of the machines may not be there. The perfect use of all the machines cannot be done at the same time. That's the disadvantage. Again, that relates to cost also. If the batch processing is used in process inventory, cost could be rised up, or it may lead to a heavy cost of in-process inventory, because so many types of grouping of the function is being done at that time. If you are doing some kind of batch of 100 product, then only what happens is you are using that many products and you need the inventory for that purpose only. So in that case, it may be a kind of costly affair. Again, lower volume means higher per unit cost. Naturally, economy of scale cannot be used here, because here we are producing everything on a lower volume. In that case, the per unit cost always goes high, and this is what you have you are learning in the costing also, and that's very natural. You have learned it somewhere in the economics also, that economies of scale cannot be held if you are producing something in a lower volume, because it will increase the per unit cost. More specialized attention is necessary for both products and customers, because you are focusing on customized goods. So the product is also being customized and you have to take care of, and the customers are also to be satisfied. No standardized goods are being produced here. So it is more or less based on the demand of the customers and how varied kind of products you want to produce. So more attention is required. Setups are more frequent, hence higher setup cost will be incurred. As I told you earlier, that means in the advantages we have seen that it is highly flexible. If it is highly flexible, means every now and then we keep on changing the setup. If we keep on changing the setup, what happens is there will maybe higher cost of setup, right? That means you may require more number of people, you may require say more amount of material handling things to change the setup every now and then, and in that sense it may be disadvantageous. Again, material handling is slower and more inefficient. That means the material handling is slower. You take it from one place to the another, it takes time, because group of things or group of machines are working on the different products, and it is more inefficient as compared to product layout, because in product layout everything falls in a straight line. So backward tracking, forward tracking is generally not there, whereas here it is there. So material handling is little inefficient. Again, the span of supervision is small due to the job complexities, right? Routing and setups are there, so supervisory cost may be higher. Small things are to be supervised at a time, and that may lead to the higher cost of supervision. Additionally, in this type of layout, accounting, inventory control and purchasing usually are highly involved. That means you have to buy things, you have to keep in stock so many things, so inventory may go high. In that sense, you may have to have the say accounting of the layout may be done every now and then, and that may lead to the higher cost. Again, there may be confusion related to the setup, because every now and then you constantly keep on changing the schedules, you keep on changing the arrangement because of its flexibility, availability, and that may be little confusing at times. And it is difficult to maintain the line balancing, means if you want to get the things being divided into small tasks and in a balanced manner, that is not possible, and waiting time and idle time also increases. That means the waiting time, you have to keep on waiting till the things are done at a previous stage, and then once it is done, you keep on shifting to the next part. Even the idle time may be there. That means I told you in the beginning also that if 5 machines are there but only 3 are kept on the use, 2 becomes idle at a time, then that may be the case, and that may happen, and these are such kind of disadvantages. But anyhow, the manufacturer has to select that whatever the requirement of the product is, he can select the setup accordingly, right? So this is the end of the lecture number 1. That means 6A we are ending up here, which tells us everything about the the process layout. We have also discussed the product layout, and we have summed up the product layout earlier. Process layout we have seen in this session, right? When we move to the next one, we shall be taking up with the difference and further on. By that time, thank you. We'll see you soon.